Hi friends, hope you are all doing fine. So today I'm going to talk about how to write a proposal for a PhD. And typically most universities require you to write a short document, maybe 2 to 4 pages, 2000 to 4000 words, summarizing your intent as far as your PhD topic is concerned. And this proposal is then vetted by a committee of professors, and then you are permitted to continue on the PhD program. Now, typically this proposal is written in conjunction with your supervisor, and so I would believe that the broad topic would come from your supervisor, and in some cases the supervisor may give you even a narrow problem. So you need to have a lot of discussions with your supervisor once you join the university, and you need to come across a broad topic or a narrow topic. For example, your broad topic could be you want to reduce vibration in structures of a certain type, and then within this particular theme you could narrow it down to different methods, you could narrow it down to different structures, finally narrow it down to a combination of both these things, figure out the experiments you need to do, figure out the mathematical modeling and computational approaches you need to take, and so on. So let's look at some of the parts of this typical research proposal for the PhD. Now the first part is going to be a literature survey, and this is typically known as the introduction section. So essentially it is similar to the introduction of a paper, but it is much more condensed. You have a very limited amount of space, and therefore this could be 1 page or half page or something like that. And in this you essentially discuss a few of the important papers in the field, and then you point out what are the knowledge gaps which are there in the current literature, and so that essentially constitutes the problem. So at the end of this introduction you should come up with a problem which is matching completely with your title of the proposed PhD thesis. Now, once this introduction is complete, the next section is essentially the method section. And in the method section, sometime also known as the formulation section, you essentially figure out how exactly you are going to solve the problem. So it could be your problem requires you to do mathematical modeling and computational solution, or your problem requires you to collect various materials, perform experiments, do surveys, and so on. So these ingredients of your research should be written out in this method section. So method section is very important because this not only helps the committee to figure out what you are planning to do, but it also helps you to know what you are planning to do, which is very important. Now, once you have gone through the method section, the next point is to get to some sample results. Now, this is always not necessary, but it's generally a good idea to have a few sample results if you are in the second year of your PhD or the end of the first year of your PhD, at which point you may be defending your proposal. Now, the sample result could be a figure, it could be a table, and at least if you don't have any of these, make some kind of diagram which points out some of the basic aspects about your research. So again, people are visual, so it helps to have one figure or one diagram in your research proposal, which essentially gives you the broad theme of the problem and also lets the committee members know the broad theme of the problem. Now, finally, you will have a section on the plan for further research, which is the main aspect of your research proposal. And here you need to have some concept. Now, this is at a very preliminary stage, so you may not know all the information, but you can have some concept about how you are going to solve this problem. So maybe you have in your mind the first problem could be a mathematical modeling and computational problem. The second problem could be further extension into parametric studies, and a third problem could be doing some kind of optimization on this problem. The fourth problem could be experimental validation, and so on. So at this stage, it is good to be somewhat ambitious in your proposal. You may not actually get to do all these tasks, but if you come out to be too short in terms of your projections, then the committee may feel the problem is worth a master's degree and may not be worth a PhD degree. So at least at the start of the problem, you need to make a good estimate between how much you can project, but do not project so much that people think it is not possible, but it's better to err on the side of more than on the side of less. Now finally, some of the caveats about the proposal are, many times the committee members are going to put on their black hat and they are going to judge your proposal somewhat harshly. And so they are going to ask you all kind of questions. They are going to figure out whether you have done a proper literature survey. So make sure you know the main papers in your field by name. You know who are the people who have written these papers. So if Smith has written this paper, or Rao or Chen, you need to know these people, you need to know the universities, you need to know the journals they have published, and so on. So this gives the committee members confidence that you have actually done your research, you have studied the subject, and you are deep into the problem, and then they get the confidence to actually feel that you are going to be able to complete your proposed problem. So remember that a lot of this is a confidence game, and if they feel that you are not confident about what you have done, given that you had a couple of years to prepare this proposal, to do all the study, the coursework, and so on, then of course there are going to be deleterious consequences regarding this proposal. So at the end of this proposal, the people should feel that this work is well thought about. It will lead to maybe 2 to 3 journal publications depending on your university's requirements, and also it will further enhance the reputation of the university, the research group, and so on. And finally, it should be something which is possible for you to do within the context of your supervisor, your lab, and the department and the university. So you should not propose something which is very far out and which your group does not have expertise in, because then they are going to question as to why you are doing this problem. So these are some things to keep in mind. Finally, at a more political level, your research proposal helps you to create a document which becomes like a constitution between you and your supervisor or guide as to what is your problem. And this is very important because sometimes the problems change as time goes on, but this should not become very substantial. So your PhD problem should not creep far into something else. And therefore this proposal, it's very similar to a constitution of a country. It essentially puts certain boundaries on your research. It lays out certain foundations and certain themes within which your research stays. And so this is a very important document. Most people take it somewhat superficially, but they should take it very seriously, because this document is going to determine the next couple of years or more of your PhD student life. So I hope you benefit from this video. Stay tuned to my channel for more such videos. See you soon.